Welcome to Inside British Royals. This is your exclusive look inside the world's most famous family. We are exploring the scandals, secrets, and power plays that define the modern monarchy. If you are new here, please do well to hit that subscribe button for more updates. Utterly horrified. There's really no other way to describe the reported state of Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie right now. Just as the world was processing the news that their father, Prince Andrew, was arrested on his 66th birthday, his daughters were plunged into a terrifying new crisis. They're now forced to grapple with the horrifying reality of their family's connection to Jeffrey Epstein and what it all means for their future. The aftershocks of this arrest are tearing through the House of Windsor, but it's Andrew's own children who are at the very epicenter of this royal earthquake, reportedly in emergency talks with King Charles, not just as their king, but as their uncle. February 19th, 2026. It's a date that will be etched into royal history as a day of unbelievable crisis. On what should have been a quiet 66th birthday, Prince Andrew was met not with cake and candles, but with a knock on the door from police. Officers from Thames Valley Police detained the Duke of York on the Sandringham estate, arresting him on suspicion of misconduct in public office. This shocking arrest is the direct result of revelations unearthed from the millions of pages of documents in the Epstein files. The specific allegation is that during his decade-long role as the UK's Special Representative for International Trade, Andrew passed confidential government information to the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Emails released back in January appeared to show Andrew sharing sensitive reports about his trade visits to Asia with Epstein in 2010, long after Epstein had already been convicted of child prostitution. He was held for about 12 hours of questioning before being released under investigation. A photograph of a grim-faced Andrew leaving the Aylsham police station showed a man looking visibly shaken. Make no mistake, the arrest of a senior royal, the king's own brother and eighth in line to the throne, is something we just haven't seen in modern history. Within hours, Buckingham Palace released a statement from King Charles that was both swift and surgically precise. The king expressed his deepest concern before delivering a message that left no room for doubt. Let me state clearly, the law must take its course. He assured authorities of the family's full and wholehearted support, a statement that drew a firm, clear line between the crown as an institution and the personal fate of his brother. While the legal and constitutional fallout is just beginning, the immediate, human cost is crashing down on his two daughters, Princess Beatrice, 37, and Princess Eugenie, 35. Sources close to the family say the sisters are in a state, very distressed, and utterly horrified by what's happened. The whole situation has been described as a catastrophic blow for the entire York family. And this isn't just about the shame of a public scandal. It's a deeply personal crisis. Insiders say the sisters are going through an incredibly painful and introspective moment. There's a growing feeling that they're putting pieces of the puzzle together in real time and realizing they may have been used. Think about it. They were just 19 and 20 years old when their parents brought them into Jeffrey Epstein's world. The belief they may have had in their father's innocence is now completely shattered. It has to feel like an absolute betrayal. The pain is only made worse by the fact that their own mother, Sarah Ferguson, is also implicated in the Epstein files. Her emails revealed pleas for money and jobs from the disgraced financier, which flew in the face of her previous denials. For her daughters, this has reportedly led to feelings of anger. One expert noted they must be asking themselves, how could both of their parents be so stupid? And while they're said to be leaning on each other, a heartbreaking rift seems to be forming. Eugenie, whose own charity is dedicated to fighting the very sex trafficking that defined Epstein, is said to be livid and is reportedly distancing herself from her father. Beatrice, on the other hand, is said to be more conflicted, trying to balance love for her dad with the appalling reality of it all. This is without a doubt one of the biggest crises the monarchy has faced in our lifetime. Before we break down what this means for the princess's future, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon so you don't miss any updates as this story unfolds. To really understand the impossible position Beatrice and Eugenie are in, we need to go back. For years, they have walked a tightrope. As non-working royals, they don't get public funds and have built their own careers. Beatrice in finance and tech, Eugenie in the art world. But their titles and closeness to the throne have always kept them in the public eye, their lives forever tied to the Prince Andrew factor. Every step forward they took was shadowed by their father's past. Now, that shadow has become an all-consuming darkness. The public goodwill they worked so hard to build is now in serious jeopardy. As more sordid details from the Epstein files have come out, public opinion has reportedly soured not just on Andrew, but on the entire York family. Their mother, who hasn't been seen in public for months, is now widely seen as toxic. The tabloids that once covered their fashion choices now paint them as desperate figures caught in a trap. According to insiders, their main focus now is protecting their own young children. Beatrice is a mother of two and a stepmother to a young son, while Eugenie has two sons. They are desperately trying to create a bubble to shield their kids from the fallout and protect the image of their grandfather. But it's an agonizing conflict. As one source put it, a dad is still your dad, and you can't just flip a switch on that love. They're trapped, and with the palace focused on protecting King Charles and the monarchy, the sisters are reportedly feeling more isolated than ever. This brings us to those reports of emergency talks with King Charles. While the palace is staying silent on private family meetings, sources insist that crisis talks are happening. The king is said to feel fiercely protective of his nieces, completely torn between his duty as king and his role as their uncle. So what could they possibly be discussing in these unprecedented talks? First, and most urgent, their public lives. Every charity they're tied to, every public appearance, is now under a microscope. Their presence alone at an official event could create a firestorm of controversy and distract from the monarchy's work. Can they continue to represent their causes, especially when some are in direct opposition to their father's alleged crimes, without facing a public backlash? Second, their financial and residential security. For pretty much their entire lives, their home and security have been tied to their father's status as the Duke of York. With his titles gone and his future in chaos, their own arrangements are shaky. It was reported before that a deal might have been in the works for the sisters to keep their titles if Andrew agreed to leave Royal Lodge for good. Now, with a criminal trial on the horizon, everything is back on the table. Finally, and most personally, there's the agonizing question of how to handle their relationship with their father, who is now a criminal defendant. This isn't just a family drama, it's a matter of state. The investigation is being prosecuted, symbolically, by the crown itself, the same crown headed by their uncle. They are caught between loyalty to their father and duty to the monarchy. And adding another layer of pressure is the well-known tension between the Yorks and the Waleses. Prince William, our future king, is known to have a less than close relationship with his cousins and was reportedly a key voice in pushing for Andrew to be stripped of his titles. If Andrew faces trial, experts predict the entire York family could be cut off from the royal fold for good. Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie are facing a crisis that's almost impossible to imagine. They're heartbroken, reeling, and feel profoundly betrayed. They're trapped between their love for a man who is still their father and their loyalty to the firm, an institution that's now fighting for its own survival. As they try to navigate this horrifying new reality, confronting the sins of their parents while protecting their own children, they face a future that has never looked so uncertain. As the legal case against Prince Andrew moves forward, his daughters are left to pick up the pieces. Right now, they aren't defined by their charity work or their own families, but by a name that may be forever tainted by scandal. And that leaves us with one lingering, tragic question. Can they ever truly escape their father's shadow? Let us know what you think in the comments below.